Hello and welcome to a new series called Alpha Mondays. Now this is going to be a Monday series, maybe every week, maybe once every 2 weeks, where I take a look at games that are in alpha or by indie companies that are small, growing, developing, maybe some games are in early access, going towards the beta stage, and I will be taking a look at them and seeing how they're progressing and what I'm liking and not liking about them, hopefully providing some feedback to the developers. So today I'm going to be looking again at Rise of Industry. This is something that I did about 2 or 3 episodes on a couple of months back, and it was in Alpha 4 and Alpha 5. So we're in Alpha 6 now, and there have been some changes. I'm just going to go into free play mode, just going to newcomer, not anything special. In fact, no, we're going to go to custom game. But the first thing I want to let you guys know is that in the tutorial, there was just a newcomer tutorial. There was just one standard tutorial. Now it looks like the tutorial is going to much more detail, so that's really good. And one thing I've noticed on this is learn how to terraform. Now we never had terraforming before when I last played, so we're going to see exactly what we've got. I'm just going to do standard world, seed, whatever, starting loan. I'm just going to make something really silly, 100 million. We're going to do a large world. It says large may lag. Last time I never had this. Tech tree I'm going to disable so we can have a look at what is available. Difficulty, newcomer, sure. Town industries done. Regions enabled. Mountains will do low. Hills will do medium. Lakes will do medium. Coastal amount 2. None of this has really changed, so we're just going to leave that. We're going to do let's do insane for both of them, and we'll do medium-sized regions. And you can see we can just go to the advanced options in that sense, but we're just going to just go back to that, double check, make sure everything is okay. Large and 100. The only thing is when we're swapping in and out of that, it does reset all of this, so you just need to double check what exactly you're doing. So let's just generate that. Let's see what happens. So I want to see exactly what's changed. Just going to take a quick look. It's only going to be a half-hour look, and hopefully it will give you guys an idea of how this is developing and where it's going, and just if it's really, how good it is. So last time out when I played it, I did say there was a lot of potential for this game, but it was a little bit restrictive at the start, I think. I think there just wasn't enough to do. For something like this, I think it would be nice if you could really fine-tune every little bit of this title. So if you were in there and you had to do the micromanagement, I think that would be really cool. Right, so we've done this. Obviously, they've got a link to their public wiki and their Discord channel. Please keep in mind this game is in an alpha state. That's why it's on Alpha Monday. Right, buildings are missing animations, some models need replacing, and not all features are implemented, so expect some bugs. There we go. Everything else I'm not going to go through. We've been through this before. But for those people who haven't played this title before, or haven't seen me play this title before, Rise of Industry is all about building up. Let's pause this. It's all about building up an industry empire, and you can go through everything. You can do an industry making clothes, you can do an industry selling tools or farming or oil. As you can see, there's some oil there, and you've got to try and supply as many places as you can in the best way possible. It lags when you're really far out. It's smooth at this point. So you can see we've got all these little towns, and you've got to buy a permit to get some land, which you can see marked by these borders. Then you can build in that area or transport goods to that area, and you've got to decide what you need to do and create a production chain. That's the important part. So what we're going to do is we are going to try and find how do I get the we've got terraforming, so we're going to try some terraforming too, but what I'm looking for is not that. What I'm looking for is a list of cities. Nope, don't have a list of cities. Looks like they've done a little bit of a fancy background now. It may be unnecessary. I think they've changed the colours a little bit on the palette too. Now, Paulie looks like the biggest city. Now, what does it have? So when we go here, oh, they've changed that too. Everything's now in colour. So this tells you the shops that are in town. So this is where you can sell your goods. So you can see this is what they are requesting. Wool, oil, glass, cotton, wood, is that ceramics? I was going to say ceramics, coal and leather. So you've got that. You've also got the farmer's market that wants vegetables, chicken, apples, milk, mutton, cocoa, or cocoa beans, fish, and berries, or grapes. There you go, grapes, not berries. Berries look different. Berries are red, I think. Then we've got this, which looks for fibers, looking for light fabric, dyes, light fabric, that's new, I think. Winter clothes, work clothes, summer clothes, and heavy fabric. I'm fairly sure light and heavy fabric is new. It used to just be one, and that was just fabric. So they've changed that. So that's what you've got. You've got a wholesaler which can sell water. So there you go, that one's selling water. And you've got planned production. So they make leather furniture, hard cider, and newspapers. So that's what you've got. So now, if you want to be in this area, you've got to take a look around and say, right, where is the area? So there's the region. There's the region border all the way. And you've got to try and work out, in this region, would you be able to make what they are asking, or are you going to have to go somewhere else? So, for example, you could probably supply wood because there are lots of forests here. So loads and loads of forests. If you click that, you can see it's just simple, a lumberyard. There's your tech tree, essentially, or a process tree. So you've got a lumberyard, will give you wood. Simple. And you can also access that from the recipe books up there. Map layers, as you can see, coming soon. So you could also go, say, coal, right? So coal mine. Now, we don't have... That's iron, so we don't have any coal around the area. Yeah, there's no coal. But we do have oil, so you could get oil. So you could supply oil for something. You've got glass. Now, how does glass work? You need coal and you need sand. Sand collector, you could get sand from a coastline. Now, you could probably get it off these... You might be able to get it from these places, sand. Yeah, look, that looks like you can get sand from this area. Can you see that? It looks like you can get sand from that area. So you can get sand, but you can't get coal. So you can't make glass, so you're not going to be able to supply that. Ceramics need glass and sand. Obviously, you can't get the glass. Leather needs water and wheat. Makes a cow field. Cow field makes these things. Now that you can supply, because you know that they want milk too. So they want beef, they want milk, and they want leather. So you know that you're going to be able to supply that to this place because you're going to be able to put some farms down. You've got plenty of areas with water, so you can put farms down. Cotton is another thing, just needs water to make cotton. They're going to be fine with that. Wool is going to need a sheep field, which is going to need wheat, which you can make from the farm, which is going to give you both mutton and wool. So you can see how this can get quite complicated, and it gives you time to produce too. So that's how long it's going to take to produce one of each of these. So that allows you to start planning things. So you say, right, we want 2 of these. So say water comes in every 10 days. If water comes in every 10 days, and this takes 40 days to produce one of these, and wheat comes in every 10 days, if you're going to be the most efficient, you need to find the right ratio and say, right, in 40 days, we're going to have 4 of them, and we're going to have 4 of them. Well, that's no good. What we should do is try and reduce the number of that, so that in 40 days, we're going to have 1 and 3 to allow one of these to be made in 40 days, so on and so forth. Or what you could do is say, right, we're making 4 of these. We'll ensure that we make 12 of these, but of course that needs water too, so you've got to then consider that, and the time to produce is 25 days. So water takes 10, there you go, water takes 10, wheat takes 25. So you've got to do all the calculations about that, trying to work it out. And I'm going to show you in a moment. So let's just take this area, just for the demonstration purposes. We're going to take this area and see what exactly we can do. So you go to overview, you go to region, and you buy a full build permit. And you can see the resources that are available in the region. It gives you it, so without you having to look for it. Coal, there is coal available somewhere. So we're going to have to find the coal. There it is. There's some coal available right there. So we could get coal to this place. So we've got coal, we've got copper, we've got fish, we've got iron, we've got oil, we've got sand, we've got water, and we've got wood. There you go. I think this is a good place for me to start. Let's get a full build permit. 4 million it's going to cost us. That's why I took a huge loan out, because it's just going to be easier for me to show you guys. There you go. Okay, so now we are allowed to build in this area, and I will show you what happens. See? logistical permit required to build in this area. This one we've got a full build permit, so we can build, and we can build roads as well as industries in the area. So that's that. So if we were to buy a, let's find an area to buy a logistical permit in. Yeah, sure, Watford. So the region around Watford, let's buy a logistical permit, and as you can see, it's much cheaper. Look, the full build is 9 million. That's 2. So let's say we were to build that now. Say there wasn't a road. Say this road never existed. We could now build a road in Watford, as you can see. So that's how that works. And looks like we can build... Oh, looks like they've got train tracks now as well. That's new. So let's go ahead and continue along in Pawley. So what we need to do is we're going to... Let's focus on... What should we focus on? Let's focus on wool and cotton and leather. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to have farms. So all of this is going to require a lot of water, as you can see. So we're going to ensure that we get the right amount of water coming in. So the first thing you need to do is, normally if you had you'd have an unlock tool up here for the various skills, but obviously we've got everything available to us now. So you can see these would come up in different tiers, but we've got everything unlocked, so that's okay. So we're going to start with a water siphon. So you'll find the water siphon under gatherers. So you can see gatherers, coal, copper, fishermen, gas pump. They've done that now. So a lot of these, some of these weren't available actually beforehand. So we've got a water siphon. So we're going to build a water siphon. Now I think a good place to build a water siphon might be here, because there's a lot that we can get from this. And as you can see, you can rotate with R. So we're just going to have a simple water siphon just there. Now don't put it close to the shore, because you're going to have to build these. So there we go. Now rotate with R. There you go. You can build 2. Now obviously we're probably going to need a lot more. Now maximum is 5 out of 5 harvesters. So that means that every 10 days we can get 5 water currently. Now all we've got to do, or the first thing we need to do, is actually hook all of these up. So we're going to make sure that all these roads are connected like that. I'm not doing this in the most efficient manner. I'm just doing this just to show you guys how it works. And now you've got to choose a destination. So you can see that that's the destination. Now you could just send it over to the state, which is going to give you money, or you can send it over to something else that you're going to do. So that's why now I'm going to set up some farms. So we're going to start with a crop farm. That's a good one to start with. We need wheat. We know we need wheat. So we're going to start with a crop farm, and the crop farm needs a little bit of space around it. So if we go ahead and place the crop farm, say here, we're going to place it there. There you go. You can see it needs some space. Now I'm actually going to... Now how's that going to look? Q and E rotate, by the way. So if I place it like that, like that, like that. Now you can place a maximum of 5. When you're playing this in career mode, then you start with 3 and then you can place more. So that means that this is going to require, for each field, it's going to require 5 water. Now given what we're making, we should be able to supply that to whatever it needs. Now also, what we should do at this point in time is connect an urban road. And we can just do this and connect it up to there. Now again, I'm not showing you this in super detail. I'm not showing you this in, you know, everything exactly how you're supposed to do it. What I want to do is just give you an overview of this title and what it's looking like in its Alpha 6 state. Don't forget, Alpha 6 state. So there you go. There's one crop farm. So now what you need to do is you need to assign this to have a destination. That's how you select your product. So we've got water. We can assign up to 9 trucks. So we can assign a 9 trucks on that. And we can send it to, now we've got state, but you can see farms 1. We've got the Pawley crop farm. There you go. So now we've got that. Now let's go back to Pawley and see, do they need wheat? Does anybody ask for wheat? They do not. They ask for vegetables though. They do ask for vegetables. But we know that we're going to need wheat for cows. And we're going to need wheat for sheep. So I think sheep might be the best one to go for at the moment. So we're going to go for sheep. So we're going to try and make a sheep field and get some mutton and wool. So we're going to have a look at how this works out for us. And this is going to be a good demonstration. So if we play that, you'll see at the moment nothing happens. But you can see there are, can you see those? Those trucks are waiting, and at the 10-day mark they will move because they've collected water. Oh, they've got animations for this now. That's nice. So I'll show you. Just fast forward a little bit. There you go. They are now full of water. So they are going to go there, and then from there they're going to take the stock there. So let's just watch this through. There you go. So you can see what's happening there. And that's essentially how it runs. So now if we pause this, have a look at this. So we've got 2 water there. As you can see, those 5 harvesters, how close they are to completion of another unit of water. And we've got 1 unit of water currently there. But at the moment we've got, looks like all of these seem to be happy in terms of the amount of water that they've been given. So they've been given the 5 water. Now, let's go ahead and make the second one. We're going to make a livestock farm. So again, I'm going to rotate this. Now we can connect it straight up, or we can do this. I'm going to do this, although I don't know how the... it works like that. That's good. There you go. Something like that. So we've got that. Now, what have I done wrong here? Now I'm going to show you exactly what I've done wrong. We could set the field to, we're going to set it to be sheep. There you go. There you go. So now we've got some pastures, which look great. So what I've done wrong, and I'm going to explain very, very quickly, is I have 3 wheat going to 3 of these. Now these need 9 wheat. They're going to take 40 days. Each one of these can only produce 2 wheat in that 40 days. No, they can't even produce 2 wheat in that 40 days. So we're going to get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We require 3, 6, 9 for 40 days. Actually, surprisingly, that might have worked out correctly. Huh. Well, what do you know? What do you know? That might have actually worked out correctly. Now, we're not going to be able to do anything right now because we're not getting any water there. And as you can see, the wheat is also not going there. So what we need to do is we need to choose a new destination for water, farms, livestock farm. There you go. So now we're going to get water to this place. Now, ideally, you've got to really be careful on this. Let's bring this down to just 1 because it's going to take a while. So there you go. You can see there's already 3. But you can't do anything still because we've got to go to this one and go destinations. Choose destination for the wheat. Choose the destination, and we're going to farms, livestock farm. Now also you can see that it's asked for commercial, but you can see that the farmers market that want wheat is that many tiles away. So the nearest one is Watford, which is in the other region. So now what's going to happen, as you can see, there you go. The wheat is now going to this place. So now all of these are going to start producing wool and mutton. So now what we could do is we could set up another route from here to go choose destination. So we could go mutton, choose destination, and take it over to commercial, the farmers market, 104 tiles away in Pawley. Or we can do this. This is how you improve things even further. We've got logistics buildings. We can do, well, we're not going to do a train terminal. We're just going to use a truck depot. So we connect up a truck depot, and let's connect it up there. And as you can see, we've now got eggs collation. Eggs price has gone up 25%. The time has come at last to ask the age-old question. Rabbits and eggs. How exactly? I'll explain what that is in a moment. So those are, actually, let me just explain them now. Those are random market changes. So what that means is that the market has these random moments where things will be up and down. So as you can see right now, eggs are 25%. Sometimes worker prices will go down. Sometimes you'll have to bump up wages. Sometimes there'll be strikes. Sometimes there'll be floods, things like that, natural disasters. None of it's really animated in the game, but the logic for it is there, and it will tell you, so you can then adjust your empire accordingly to try and build up. So anyway, going back to this, we can go from livestock farm, which as you can see now has some wool and mutton, and we can go choose destination for both of these to be right across the road, logistics, right there. There you go. And we can just literally just assign one truck to this. Okay, so that's now going to move this to the logistics. Now what we can do is we can use now the logistics, which have better, the truck depot has faster trucks and more trucks, 15 of them, as opposed to the 9 at the farm. So we've got 15 instead of 9. Now imagine if you just had 2 trucks going there, this could spread them out wherever you want. So now we go, what's it going to be? It's a raw resource. Is it going to be a raw resource? Mutton, there you go. There's a raw resource, mutton. And the other raw resource we had, no, it's a component, isn't it? We've got wool. Now what does it read as? No, it doesn't read as that. It probably is. There we go, wool. So we've got 2 raw resources. Now we can choose a destination, and we're going to go commercial, and we can take it right the way over to the farmer's market, and right the way over to the hardware store. There you go. And you can see very different trucks, and they're faster. So now they're going to go about doing their business, going to and from, collecting. Oops. I like switching off edge. You know what? Edge scrolling I prefer to have off. There you go. Much better. That's much better. So you can right click to move around with a little arrow, or you can middle click and drag. So right click is you actually have to move the cursor around. Middle click sort of is a one. It holds your cursor in place. So that's how that works. So there you go. Now we've essentially got an industry running now. So we've got water going to the crop farm. You can see the crop farm has plenty of water now. The livestock farm, that is. Then this place has plenty of water and wheat. So what we can now do is, as you can see, the amount of wheat that we're getting is actually crazy. How much wheat are we getting? We're getting a lot of wheat. So we could dump all of this if we needed to, because these will eventually run out of space. As you can see, slot capacity 60 units. But we're going to see exactly what happens as we start building this up for the next few minutes. So what are these lot carrying? They're all carrying something. Or not. No, they are carrying something, I think. Go on, close that, close it. Okay, I'll admit, closing these things is a little bit more difficult. There you go. So we'll see what happens. So this one's almost finished its production. But what we can now do is say, look, we've got so much wheat and water going into this place. We could maybe make a second livestock farm. And that's how you increase and bring things. That's how you basically make things better for yourself. So we'll do that. And we could do the exact same thing here. Like so. And there you have it. Now you've got a second livestock farm, and you do the exact same thing. So what you're going to do now is we're going to choose a new destination, not logistics, farms, the second livestock farm, and have 3 trucks assigned to that. So now we've got that going there, that's going to that. We're going to ensure that this is going to be, well look, we can have eggs here, but we're going to actually put that back to sheep for now. Even though the eggs, well actually we don't have 25% on eggs anymore. That then has the destination for mutton that goes to the logistics. That's that going to the truck depot, and the truck depot is now going to handle everything else. Now obviously again we can go back to this and say assign just 1 and 1. And what we need to do is we need to get some water to this place. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go choose destination, farms, livestock farm that. Let's get some water to this place. Do that, and we're going to bring that down to 2 because we know that seems to be carrying, that seems to have a lot of water currently on it, or in it. And there we go. That's how it works. That is basically Rise of Industry in a nutshell, and you just keep building up further and further and further. So from that, we could, for example, if we open up the recipe book, let's go for, what was it, wool. So we've got wool. Now if we were to look at what requires or what works with wool, not food, it's not going to be food. Deluxe bedroom, no. Stop that, hang on, I'll get there in a minute. Farms. Livestock farm, wool. How do I do that again? No. Ooh. Huh. Oh, that's not how you do it. I know what I'm looking for, and I can't find it. Sorry. What you can do is you can have a look at all of this and see what takes what. So for example, we could go to textile factory and say, look, we can make dyes, we can make mattresses. Production alert, the storage is full, destination storage is full. Wait, I'll check you out in a minute. So you can click mattress, and you can see a mattress needs light fabric. Light fabric requires fibers. Fibers requires cotton. So you can see how that builds up even more. So we can go clothes. There you go, winter clothes. Winter clothes require wool. They require wool and heavy fabric. Heavy fabric requires fibers and dye. So that means to make winter clothing, you're going to need to have fibers. You're going to need cotton. You're going to need to have a textile factory to turn cotton. So you're going to need a farm that produces cotton, or plantation that produces cotton, that turns into fibers. The fibers are going to have to go into a textile factory, but you're also going to need dye. Dye is going to come from berries at another plantation and more water. That will give you dye. That will create heavy fabric. One heavy fabric and two wool will create one bit of winter clothing, and one bit of winter clothing can then be sold over to your destination. And that's how it all works. So hopefully that has given you a really good impression of the current stage of Rise of Industry. What we're going to do just before we end is I'm just going to have a look at how this works. Okay. That's pretty good. Because you could just plant trees and I suppose make some woodland and then do some stuff there. Yeah, you could do that. Let's have a look at raise and lowering per tile. So you do highlight and then up. That's quite good. And down. Hello. You could go down. It's going to cost a lot, but that might allow you to then get water, and then escape does that. And we can even go and flatten. So for example, let's say we wanted to flatten this tiny bit of land here. Not like that. There you go. So you select that bit of land and it's gone. It's flattened. Really easy. Very, very easy. And we can duplicate things and we can demolish things. And like I said, we can build things. As you saw, tunnels. We've got networks. So that is Rise of Industry in a nutshell for Alpha Mondays. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this preview look at the Alpha 6. If you want me to make another video for Rise of Industry on an Alpha Monday, let me know and I will make a video again in Rise of Industry with Alpha 6, maybe showing you how to do the whole full industry of heavy clothing, and you know, we'll sort that whole thing out all the way up to heavy clothing. So that would be kind of interesting to show. If not, if there are other games that you want me to potentially have a look at, do let me know in the comments box below. They have to be in an alpha state, ideally by an indie company, and then I'll try and get in touch with them and see what they can do. So there you go. Here's one to end with. Ahead of schedule. Factories production plus 25%. Fantastic. Obviously, we don't have any factories, so it's not going to affect us. But that just shows what happens. And this is a nice dynamic sort of world. And I am really looking forward to seeing what comes up in Alpha 7. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitch, please give me a follow. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please follow me on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/ECGadget. Also support me on Patreon. That's also at www.patreon.com/ECGadget. I would really, really appreciate your support. It would help me out a huge, huge amount, and also help me continue making these sorts of videos. Thank you very much for watching once again. Well done to the developers for Rise of Industry. I can't wait to see what you come up with next, and I'll certainly be returning to this in the next alpha version, if not in alpha 6 again, should the demand be there. I'll see you guys next time.